Hello, friends. I hope you're having a great day. I am looking forward to talking to you about the Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey over in Hogsmeade at Islands of Adventure in Orlando, Florida. It is aesthetically a beautiful ride. I'm just going to say before we get into accessibility, limitations and requirements and our personal experience with it. I just want to tell you from the outside, this is one of those moments when we walked into Hogsmeade. Much of Universal's Islands of Adventure is it's not hidden. You can sort of see all the theming, which does sort of ruin the aesthetic at times. But in this case, how Hogsmeade, you walk in and it's kind of like around the corner, and then the entrance to Hogsmeade is there, and then it's just like the movie, and Hogwarts is up um, on the hill. It's just awesome. There's no other description. So I will say theming is beyond on point. That being said, the actual where you're walking, it's like a cobblestone um, walkway, which for the theming is ideal. The sidewalks are very narrow, but you can obviously walk in the street because there aren't any cars. But when we're talking about accessibility, you need to think about, well, we think about how is that for the person in the wheelchair? The sidewalks, if it were not busy, would have been fine, except that there are a lot of people doing spells because of their wands and the wand stations up on the sidewalks. So just be mindful that if you opt for that way, it will be a smoother ride for the person in the chair. But for just getting around people, it's going to be frustrating. The streets are very uneven, so it's going to make for a bumpy ride, and that's just something to be known. Again, just something to prepare for. For me now, again, I'm not the one in the chair, I'm the one pushing the chair. For me, the theming made it so it was worthwhile to be pushing over bumps and what have you. Um, so, and again, I think it was just because of the amount of people. Maybe the whole street isn't like that, but the one area where we were pushing, it was just very like trying to get around people. It was crazy. That being said, with the curbs and what have you, it just was a little nuts. But the ride itself, the queue for, I'm going to call it Hogwarts, but the queue for Harry Potter is you're walking through Hogwarts, which is within itself wonderful. We are huge Harry Potter fans, but when it comes to the accessibility issues, no, we had an express pass, which made the whole situation kind of complicated. Um, if you have an express pass and you can't go upstairs, I don't know how they handle that because the express pass lane brings you directly up the stairs. The day that we did the Forbidden Journey, my daughter wasn't really having problems at the time, so we were able to use the express pass. But I did see where there was a young man that was in a wheelchair that he pulled up right next to us at one point, and he had missed a whole huge part of the castle. So it was very clear to me that you're going to miss the queue. And then they also took him into like an elevator or another hallway, and so he missed out on a lot of the castle. That being said, he did get to see some of it, so I'm going to tell you that you are going to miss some of the castle. A lot of people go into Forbidden Journey just to walk through the castle. You'll be able to see some of it, but just understand it's not going to be like Gringotts where you really get to see the whole queue. And even if you can't ride Gringotts, it's worth walking through or being pushed through the queue. It really is. I can't say enough about Gringotts again, but the Forbidden Journey, it is not the case, which is a shame because the castle is really cool. And I think it would have been a huge letdown. I know, actually, it would have been a huge letdown for my daughter if she wouldn't have gotten to walk through all of Hogwarts or gotten to see it. So that being said, a few really positive things are that, unlike Hagrid's, where the queue line is uneven and narrow and just non-conducive, the queue line for the castle is wider, and it it's more even. It would be far easier to push a chair. I will say that if she was not feeling well, I don't know that this would have been a ride that she would have been able to ride, because again, it was a moving platform, so it was a moving platform to a hanging seat. So you have to be able to have the strength to hold yourself up. And then the restraints come down over you and hold you in. While you're on the ride, you do kind of tip around and sort of at one point kind of go upside down, and you need your body to be able to hold. So if you or someone in your party is unable to do that, this would not be a good ride choice for you, potentially. It's you, according to their rider requirements, you independently have to be able to sit in an upright position. And this is 100% true. The way the ride moves, it kind of jostles you around. You have to be able to support your torso, your neck, your head. And it's kind of, I mean, it's not intense, but if you don't have the ability to do that, there's no way you're going to get on the ride. And you have to be able to brace your body with at least one of your upper extremities. Like I said, you have to be able to get yourself up because it's hanging and the walkway moves. So, and again, the cast members for Forbidden Journey weren't really there to help people. I mean, they were, but you know what I mean? They aren't actually going to help lift you up and put you in. You got to do that on your own. Um, Also, when you're seated from the hanging thing, like I said, the seat comes down. My advice is to try the seat before you go into the line to make sure that you can fit in the seats and that like your body lines up correctly. Um, your legs have to extend past the edge of the seat. It's like a little almost like bench that you sit on. Um, so just know if you have prosthetics that they must extend to that both legs, either your natural legs or your prosthetic legs, have to extend to the edge of the seat. Um, and that's just important for you to know. But again, before you get in the line, you're excited, and then um, not that you should ever feel, I mean, like disappointed, but if you didn't know this ahead of time, I would be very disappointed. You need to be able to transfer. If you cannot transfer out of your chair, this is not a ride you're going to be able to ride. And you also, when you get off, are transitioning from the moving hanging vehicle to a moving platform as well. So if you can't coordinate the pull up and jump out and the moving platform, this may not be a ride for you. They do say that if you need a stationary platform, that they have one for people, um, and you just need to let the um, cast members know that you need one when you're in line, and they can do that for you. I don't know what that looks like, but I do think that that's good to know. But you do need to be able to hold yourself up. It will be an up as opposed to a going down into a seat. A lot of the rides are quite deep rides at Universal, and I could see people having problems getting out of them. In this case, it's going to be getting out, pushing up. So if that's an issue, just be aware of that. Um, and I would say it is a fun ride. It is a ride that makes a lot of people nauseous. We didn't have problems with that, but it is, I would say the highlight of that ride was probably the queue for us. And the ride itself is cool. I mean, it's a cool ride. Don't get me wrong. You get to fly through Quidditch games and see all the iconic things go through the Forbidden Forest. But again, I would just be mindful that you may not get to see the whole castle, and that the load in and load out procedures are a little intense. If you can hold even for a few moments your own body weight, you should be all right. I just, again, um, just knowing this ahead of time so you can be prepared, right? That being said, if you have any other questions about it, I'll do my best to answer. This, again, was not a ride that we had to use a wheelchair for. My daughter only needed a wheelchair the second day we were there. So any rides we rode on the first day, I I didn't have a personal interaction, but being someone with people that do have special needs, I keep my eye open and look out because you never know. And it's always good to be informed. My one regret was that when we needed a chair and were kind of flying by the seat of our pants, um, that I was not more prepared for what each ride required. It was more of a, hey, let's see. I will tell you, Universal does have a guidelines book, and that breaks every single ride down for you. So they do have something like that. You can find it online on their website with a little searching, and I'm sure they probably have it in the park. I didn't find one until after we got back. So no one offered one to me when we rented the chair. No one said, hey, you might want this. Nothing like that. So it's kind of a, you need to know, and if you don't know, then you won't know, right? So hopefully the information here is helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and I will do my best to answer in the comments or create a new video to share any information that you would like. So have a great day. Bye.